My first six-figure year didn't come from a huge audience, it didn't come from paid ads, and it didn't even come from a big community. It came from a Facebook community with fewer than 50 members. And this is why I'm such a huge fan of community building, and I'm going to share a little bit of behind the scenes from my then Facebook group. And I will also share about my community now and why I think that community building or communities are such an integral part of a business ecosystem. So stay tuned. I have 3 or 4 reasons for you why a community is so powerful for you and why you should start using one, or if you already have one, why you should really put a lot of effort and love into it as well. First things first, my name is Lydia Wilmsen. I'm a business and mindset coach, and here on the channel I talk about all things school growth, community growth, business growth, of course, and the mindset of being a successful entrepreneur or becoming a successful entrepreneur. And if you're not in Leadership School yet, please join. It's a free community. There is a free entry level, and then there are paid tiers on top. And if you don't have a school community yet, but you want to build one, there's also a link down below in the description so that you can start a school community with a 14-day free trial. The first point I want to start with is that communities build trust. So in my then Facebook group, I had weekly live calls, weekly Q&A calls where people could ask questions. I created a video for them, a mindset video every week as well, based on what they shared, what their struggles were, and I answered their comments. I came up with, good answers in the comment section when someone was struggling. I had a few engagement posts, really not very sophisticated, but a little bit of share your wins, share your struggles, things like that. And they would see me in the community, they would see me daily in the community. They would see me coach other people in the community. They would see my in-depth videos all hosted in the community, or there was a link to the videos. And that builds trust. They are part of that community. They see you showing up again and again. They see your knowledge. They see you delivering again and again. And there is the feeling of they are getting to know you. I was known, I knew them, I got to know them, but they actually got to know me, and they started trusting me because I delivered, I kept showing up. And this is why later on they became high ticket clients. So the entry level for that Facebook group was between 5 and 30 euros, let's say dollars for the sake of it, more people understand that. It was a monthly subscription. And I had, I think, 50 members in the end in the community. So I really didn't make a lot of money with the community itself. It was low level, low ticket, not a lot of members. However, I sold them into higher programs. I sold them later on after a year or so, because then only I learned about high ticket sales and high ticket in general and creating high ticket offers and programs actually. I created masterminds and one-to-one offers, and I sold people into that from that community that already had so much value, where people already had seen me coach them daily. They had seen my input. They knew me. They knew how I work. They already had gotten successes from that. So there was so much trust that so many people actually became one-to-one clients or mastermind clients for a 4-figure and 5-figure sum. No, it was 4 figures then. I think the highest program was 8,000 euros, and they paid that. Of course, there was a little bit of a sales process with that, but I didn't need a lot of long sales calls or anything because people knew me from daily coaching already. And similar in my current community in Leadership Skool, it is not high ticket. I don't do one-to-one coaching anymore. I have a VIP level for more in-depth questions. I have a premium layer in there. And I'm in there daily. I show up. People know me. People know me as the owner of Leadership Skool. They know my style of coaching. They know how I answer questions and things. So in the community, there is a level of trust that is being built. And actually in small communities, it's almost easier to do that than once you have a community of thousands, because you will not know everyone anymore. So intimately well, so to say. Of course, in my Facebook group, then I know the struggles of everyone. I can keep score of 50 people and know what they are doing, what they're building, what their struggles are, But of course, once you have 1,000 plus members, it's not like that anymore. It's a little bit of a different setting, but still the same principle applies. The community, if it is well led, establishes and creates trust. And that is the basis of a relationship, of a client membership, client relationship later on, if you want to sell them into higher ticket programs or just into a VIP level or one-off programs or anything. It needs trust, that people trust you to actually buy from you. So basically, communities shorten the trust building process. And that leads me to point number 2. Communities create belonging. This is another important factor that we also had in the Facebook community. People knew each other. They were on the live calls every week. They knew each other. They knew the struggles from everyone. They knew the successes, how things were working, especially over time, especially over months and months. It created a belonging. They were all part of the tribe, and it was actually called Soul Business Tribe. It was a tribe. And people rooted for each other. People wanted other people to get better and get wins and so on. They became friends. From all my masterminds and all my communities, especially the smaller groups, people became friends. After years, they are still friends. It's amazing. So it really is a relationship building process in there and a belonging building process. And people want to get to know each other and want to become friends and want to root for each other. And actually, this is one of the deepest yearnings of people, connection. And with the whole world, how everything is happening with AI, but also with the breakdown of all the big institutions, we don't have the religious connections as much anymore. We don't have the political connections anymore. Like all of these things are breaking down, the ritualized connection makers. So if you manage to create a community where people feel belonging, you are playing into one of the biggest yearnings of people, one of the biggest desires of people. We are tribal beings. We are social beings. So we want to be together. We want to have connection, and a community is beautiful for that. And for example, if you think about social media, it's a one-way street. You are delivering content and people are listening, but they can't really interact a lot with you. This is, for example, why YouTube also has a community feature where you can actually also have a more like connected tribe of people where they can ask you questions and stuff. So all the big players, they know that this is important. But as I said, social media, yes, things happen in the comments, but it's way less interactive and way less a strong community building feature, like, for example, a proper community platform. In a community, people don't just connect with you, they connect with each other. And that is the important factor. It creates belonging, it creates identity. And then a third factor is that communities let you serve people on different levels. So if you have a social media platform, you basically talk like I do. I give you information and that's it. But in a community, you can host different offers. You can host different classrooms. That's how it's called in school. I hosted in my Facebook group, Facebook community, I had a back end on my website with different things where they could access different training materials. So on any course platform, yes, they can also access courses, training, information, guides, click-through thingies. Now we have lots of AI products, like quizzes and stuff. You can host all of that in one place. And this is actually why one of my friends reached out, who probably will also make a school community to host all the information. She's a real estate agent and she has all this onboarding and she has to send it out to everyone. But if she had all the people in one place, she would create the buzz, the vibe of wow, we are all real estate investors and here are the things that you have to take care of. Why is Cyprus an amazing place to invest? And so you have it all in one place and hundreds of people can access it. So it is a beautiful part for your business where you can host all the information in one place and you can make a beautiful guided journey for the people to go from one place to the other to access all the important material. So make it easy for them, make it very clear for them to go from step A to B to C to D, have it all in one place. And it is so different to social media, for example, or letting people find it somewhere on your website or whatever. Plus, it's not only that you can basically give them different information and materials depending on where they are at in their journey. You can also charge them on different levels. You can charge them for premium offers, for VIP offers, even one-to-one access. You could charge them for one-to-one offers for anything, but all in that place, you know, all there. So you can basically see where are people at in their journey and give them options on that level. It is just beautiful. Like, you have it all in one place. And this is point number 4. Communities can become an integral part of your whole business ecosystem. So you have the connection in there. You have the organization, the courses, all of that in there. You have the connection piece between them and each other, and not just to you, but you build your authority, your trust. It is all organized. You have so many ways how to monetize that. So I feel a community is so important to have because it gives such an important piece to your business. And I wouldn't say that you should only have a community. I would still say use social media, use something like YouTube, like I'm doing, use your newsletter. I don't have a big newsletter. I think I have about 1,500 people on there. I use this, but even just sporadically. I've never been big on newsletters, but bring it all together and bring the people into the community to really get to know you more and have all the pieces like play together, you know? It's like a huge business ecosystem, and I would recommend to almost everyone to have a community. However, of course, we would have to look at your business and what you're selling, what your offer is, to see if it makes sense. But in 80% of cases, I would say it makes so much sense to include a community. With that being said, there are a few more videos that I would recommend you when it comes to monetization specifically, and I will make a dedicated video on monetization because I just shared about the Facebook community, how it created my first 6-figure year, and that was with high ticket, and I'm not doing high ticket like that anymore. I'm doing low ticket now, but you can actually make a lot of money with a low ticket community as well. And there are so many different ways how to do that. And there is one video about this already. It's called How to Monetize Early or something like that. And I will make more dedicated videos on that topic. But I think this is it for today. Let me quickly summarize the 3 or 4 points I gave you. Communities accelerate trust. Communities create belonging between you and the members, but more importantly, between the members themselves. Then number 3, you can serve people on different levels and you can give them all the courses, all the materials, all of that in one place in the community. And number 4, community can become, or has to, in my eyes, become an integral part of your business, and it beautifully ties all the different other aspects together. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment if you like the comment. With that being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, liking, thumbs up, leaving a comment, and until the next video.